Welcome to a video looking at glitches in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I'm DPadGamer, and I hope you brought proper hearing protection because things are going to get a bit strange. But don't worry, we're going to work our way up to the weird stuff. So first off, in World 4's Ghost House, in the hidden room containing a star coin, you can actually goof with the boot over on the left. If you run directly to the wall after entering and don't turn around, it won't have a chance to reposition, causing it to repeatedly turn back and forth, which is completely useless, but it makes a neat noise. Moving from that ghostly abode, you could bring a Chain Chomp back to life in World 7-2. Sorta. You see, in this game, you can use a Superstar's invincibility to unalive a Chain Chomp like so. You could also stomp on the wooden stake thrice to free them. If you mix these two things, prep the stake, take out the Chain Chomp, and then stomp again, it'll come back to life just to run off into the abyss like usual. Still, it's neat, I guess. Next, of course, I am obligated to bring up the infinite one-up glitch exploit thing. Honestly, it's nothing new, and you probably feel the same, so instead, how about infinite coins, which also gives one-ups, but in a more fun, loud way. So this can be done solo, but it's much easier with two people, so I of course use two controllers by myself. In World 4's castle, there are some climbable sections, and this one has both a flippable panel and a Koopa climbing on it. This will sorta make sense if I just show it off, so do the glitch by having one character use the Pengu suit to freeze the Koopa while the other flips the panel at the same time. Assuming the timing is correct, he'll start absolutely dumping coins in a fun M shape. Make sure you position yourself close to rack up the coins and extra lives extremely quickly, because if you don't, all of the coins will cause the game to get progressively laggier, potentially crashing the game, so be careful. Once you've had your fun, or you just want to take out the Koopa, a simultaneous ground pound will do the trick because that's a move that you can do in multiplayer. Another fun multiplayer ability is the bubble. Don't you just love floating around, helpless, begging your friends to let you out instead of dying to their own hubris yet again? Good times. Well, if only one player remains free while the rest are in bubbles at the end of a level, that lone player can softlock the whole group. The timing is very, very precise, but if you manage to touch the goal pole and initiate your own bubble at the same time, the level will end, but also not really. You're just stuck like this until you restart the game entirely. You can also softlock the game in World Coin-1, aka the first level of the exclusively multiplayer coin battle mode, which is a thing apparently. At the end, if you just hop, skip, and jump off the Koopas and ground pound onto the pole, that's it. Mario will slide down like normal, but as soon as he touches the bricks, they'll turn into empty blocks and he won't be able to reach the little castle, and thus, you're just stuck. I mean, I guess they never expected people to play this level, let alone ground pound onto the end flag, but yeah, that's the whole glitch. I am realizing that those last two glitches also double as ways to annoy your friends in multiplayer, so here, have a few more. If you are unlucky enough to run out of lives mid-level, you can annoy your friends from beyond the grave by pressing any of the directions on the directional pad and the 1 and 2 buttons. These allow you to spam horns, cowbells, just all kinds of annoying noises. This also takes a bit more skill, but if you're careful, you can indefinitely delay winning a boss battle like this one against Larry in World 1. Just land the final hits and repeatedly wall jump. As long as you don't stand back on solid ground, the victory animation can't play and thus you cannot proceed. You could also trap a friend in the wall by using the game's extremely fun and not frustrating grab mechanic. In World 3's castle, this tight corridor is the perfect height to allow Mario to pick up and toss Luigi directly into the pipe wall. Admittedly, I think this requires the throw E to also participate by spinning, but either way. Once one character is out of bounds, if the player still in bounds enters their bubble, that's it. The bubble can't go through the wall to reach the player out of bounds, and the player out of bounds can't bubble themselves without dying, or clip back in bounds, so you just sort of lose. What fun. Now, you could also mess with a Spiny, though it's significantly less fun than messing with Luigi. Either way, in World 6-2, near the checkpoint flag is this Spiny walking across some brick blocks. He'll fall if you get too close, so instead, use an ice flower to freeze him from afar, destroy the bricks he's on, and then get away again. Once unfrozen, the Spiny will be very confused. Does he go left? Does he go right? Does he obey physics and fall down? Nah, none of those. Until you get close, he'll just sort of stay there, stuck. I almost feel bad for him. Anyways, here's how to trap multiple Spinies, this time inside of solid rock. In World 2-5, you can obtain a Yoshi and find yourselves one of these sand pits. A flying Lakitu will rain down Spinies, which Yoshi can grab with his tongue. Spiny in hand, you can run up against the wall and toss it out. As long as Yoshi is far enough down, it'll become trapped inside the wall, bouncing back and forth against nothing until you either grab it again or destroy it with one of its brethren. Until then, it just makes a very fun noise. Oh, I was also able to trap all 4 of them into walls at once because why not? Now, we will return to Spiny Central later, but first, here's some Yoshi glitches. This is pretty tame, but you can jump and crouch with Yoshi and dismount while your head is sort of poking through the block to slip right through. With the same setup, you could also perform consecutive flutter jumps. So, you see, in this game, if you dismount mid-air just after bonking against the block, you'll remount Yoshi and the game will briefly think that you're actually touching solid ground. Using motion controls makes this pretty annoying, but once you get down the timing, it's easily repeatable. I'd assume that you could move during this, but I don't think that'd help much because it's already a very situational trick. That said, Yoshi can also be used to freeze the game, because of course he can. If you don't know, in this game, if you have Yoshi eat 5 berries in a row, he'll lay an egg, which contains an item that changes based on Mario's current form. It's actually possible to eat the 5th berry and get damaged at the basically, I think, same frame, which actually freezes the game in place. That said, it's very, very hard to time this out. Maybe it's just my own experience, but even using cheats to slow down the game down to nearly frame by frame gameplay, I was only able to get it just a single time. Still, it exists, and it's interesting, I guess. Another thing that exists is Toads, specifically the single player kind. After beating a particular world's mid-boss, Toads can be found and rescued in previous levels. You're supposed to escort them safely to the goal, but you'd also just not do that, and find this rolling hill that contains a gap with a pipe. Toss the Toad in, and run away. Once far enough off screen, much like with enemies, the rolling hill will actually reset its position, but the Toad will not, which means that we can actually return to find him stuck in the wall. He's trying to wander back and forth like normal, but yeah, there's no getting out of there now, sorry. Finally, let's try to combine all of the techniques that we've seen thus far. Multiplayer, ground pounds, Yoshi, Koopa, bypassing mortal law and bring enemies back from the dead. So, like we saw before, simultaneous ground pounds, or powwows as I'll call them, allow you to take out any enemy nearby. As it happens, a powwow will even kill Koopas that are currently inside of Yoshi's mouth as signaled by the score text that appears. Once that's done, that Koopa will henceforth be unkillable, aka it's sorta like a zombie. Stomping on it with Yoshi does nothing except give you score, while Mario can stop it in his tracks, allowing the Koopa to return to normal, undead. In World 1-3, 4 characters on 4 Yoshis, controlled by 4 of my brain cells, allows for this chaos. However, back in World 2-5, that generous Lakitu will supply all 4 of these Spinies that we need because those are easier to obtain and they can also become zombies. As you might notice, the noise and visuals when 2 of the undead shells collide is just, it's something else. I even enabled a cheat to avoid taking damage just so that we could really cherish this moment. Okay, so I think that's enough ear pain for one video, so let's end things here. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for my channel members for their support, with especially big thanks to Christy Kundra, Pseudonymous, Jermanger, and Achilles Rhodes for being super fans. If you watched this far, why not leave a like if you liked it, comment if you commented it, subscribe if you subscribed it. I've been DPadGamer, and this video is over. I'll see you in the next one.